What was the role of agrarian reform in the Mexican Revolution? What role did agrarian reform play in the Mexican Revolution? This question takes us into a significant chapter of Mexican history. The Mexican Revolution, which began in 1910, was a response to deep-rooted land inequality. Under the rule of Porfirio Díaz, a small number of wealthy landowners controlled most of the land. This left many indigenous communities and peasants struggling to survive, often living in conditions similar to serfdom due to debt and loss of their lands. Agrarian reform emerged as a key solution to this issue. The goal was to redistribute land to those who worked it. This included restoring communal landholdings known as Ejidos. The Ejido system allowed communities to collectively own and from the land, preserving their cultural and social structures. The legal foundation for these reforms was established in Article 27 of the 1917 Mexican Constitution. This article declared that land and water resources belonged to the nation. It provided a framework for redistributing land to private citizens and communities, ensuring that peasant rights were protected. Between 1915 and 1934, millions of hectares were redistributed to hundreds of thousands of peasant families. Although the initial progress was slow, the presidency of Lázaro Cárdenas from 1934 to 1940 marked a turning point. He accelerated land reform, redistributing nearly 19 million hectares and organizing peasants into the National Peasant Confederation. This organization became a political force that supported the new government. The impact of agrarian reform was profound. It dismantled the old hacienda system and weakened the power of the traditional landlord class. This shift helped stabilize Mexico politically by addressing the grievances of rural communities. It integrated peasants into the national political system through cooperative ownership and peasant organizations. Even after Cardenas's presidency, land reform continued, albeit at a slower pace, until the early 1990s. These reforms transformed rural Mexico by promoting small-scale farming and communal land use. These practices remain as important aspects of Mexican rural culture and identity today. From the perspective of Latin culture, agrarian reform was more than just an economic measure. It reaffirmed the values of indigenous and rural communities. It sought to restore dignity and autonomy to peasants who had been marginalized. This reform symbolized a break from colonial legacies, aiming to create a more just society rooted in the traditions and needs of its people. Agrarian reform played a central role in shaping modern Mexico, making it a vital part of the country's revolutionary history.